Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to your reading. Before we get right into it, I have a small announcement here that I'd like to make, and it's regarding the format of the readings that I'll be delivering, specifically for the mid portion of the month. So this reading that we're getting into now pertains to the 1st to the 15th approximately, and I generally have available on this channel a reading for the 15th to the 30th. Okay, so the way that I want to do it this month is I want to give the bulk of my time and my energy to the mid-monthly general readings. So that requires of me to reduce the amount of time and energy that I put into the private services that I offer. Okay, private readings and things like that. So to do that, I've decided to form a subscription base for this mid-monthly reading, okay, that I'll be offering for all the signs around the 11th of October. So you can feel free to sign up for that mid-monthly reading to gain access once this video goes live. So right watching this, you can click the link below in the description box that I provide, and that will link you to where you can save access to this mid-monthly reading. The price will be set at $222, okay, and all readings will be delivered to everyone who signs up on the 11th, okay, of October. So you'll get it just before the 15th of October, beginning the cycle to the second half of the month. Otherwise, thank you so very much for tuning in, everyone, and enjoy this first half of the month reading. Bye. Hi there, Cancer. Thank you so very much for tuning in. This is your but your beginning October reading, okay? But I almost said mid-September. So this may be a story that is moving through time from about mid-portion of September to the beginning of October. So for a number of you, the time frame of this reading could be kind of flexible, transient, okay? Nonetheless, time is right. Fluid, energy is fluid. It may permeate a little before the 1st, a little after the 15th. Nonetheless, let's get started with it, Cancer. Now, I was shuffling your cards, and the 5 of Pentacles, okay, upside down and horizontally laid, popped out for you. You have the 4 of Cups. You're coming out with something that's becoming very, very obvious to you, Cancer, in relation to the emotional realm. I'm hearing the emotional sustainability of, I'm hearing your cause, of what it is that you, I'm hearing, have been concerned with in the physical 3rd dimension. You're realizing, I'm holding back how I feel in a certain way, perhaps, in relation to the ways in which I give of myself in the 3rd dimension. So it could be right, the emotional reality that I'm hearing speaks through the professional career front, and coming to terms with, well, what is that emotional reality? How does the way that I give of myself in the 3rd dimension actually make me feel? Okay. Makes me feel a lot. Let's see here. And it's interesting because Cancer, you have, and I'm hearing Capricorn for you strongly, and you have the Daughter of Pentacles up, face up, okay, right over this High Priestess. This came through for Taurus, okay, as well. Specifically, exactly, Taurus had the Mother of Pentacles overlaying the High Priestess, overlaying the 2 of Pentacles. So, some overlap with Taurus, it seems absolutely is there, Cancer. Nonetheless, you have the 5 of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups. There is a sequence of energy there as it pertains to the numerical value, okay, of the energy. Now, I'm getting that it's sequential. You understand that your emotional your feelings are, I'm hearing, a byproduct of how it is that you derive a sense of satisfaction from things, people, experiences in the 3rd dimension. You get it that connection is very strong. Very, very, very strong. And you're coming to terms with those feelings, that truth of what emotionally satisfies you and what just simply doesn't. I'm hearing what won't ever. What won't ever. It's not a question of if it does, if it will. It's a matter of what do I know is not in resonance with me. Okay. And so there's an emotional component very strongly coming through for you. You have the Six of Cups as well, overlaying the Two of Wands. There is an emotional side to the story. Ooh, beneath the Tower, okay, in reverse. Beneath the Strength card, in reverse. Overpinning the Two of Cups in reverse. Overlaying the Sun of Pentacles upright. There is both a financial side to the story. Yes, you have as well the Sun of Pentacles overlaying the Nine of Pentacles upright. There is a financial side to the story, but also, and I'm hearing a direction, okay, of progress and momentum. In the third dimension, it could be related to career. I'm hearing professionalism, something to do with the professional front. But at the same time, there is inherently, and actually foremost, at the forefront, an emotional perceptivity that is now, I'm hearing your cause. I'm hearing your cause for concern. You're like, well, I need to come to terms with the emotions. How am I actually feeling? What I'm hearing, what's happening is happening. What's done is done as it pertains to the actual whatever is happening. But the feelings that trail before and after the experience of that experience in the third dimension, what is that? What is that energy that surrounds my material, tangible world? And there's a confrontation with that. Okay, how do I give and how do I take? And how do we all contribute to something that is I'm hearing tangible, is measured into the long terms, in the long term, okay, terms. So perhaps for various individuals, what works for you in the long term, what works for you in the long term. So I'm hearing synthesizing goals, but in such a way where it's not just progress, it's not just material, tangible forward movement, but it's producing a certain level of emotional stamina, emotional satisfaction that is inherent and unique to us all as the contributors to it. So it's like, well, I want to contribute, right, XYZ, and you contribute XYZ, and what we contribute may be different. And so, but we're all contributing to the same sort of body. I'm hearing body of knowledge, body of resources, like sort of like all are one energy. But what we get, out of it, what comes of what we create in a certain way should, you may be feeling, satisfy us all emotionally in the varying propensities and needs of emotional satisfaction that are inherent to us all individually. As we give in our own ways emotionally to the same, I'm hearing, process of emotional stability and financial as well, okay? I'm hearing financial success for a number of you. We, at the same time, expect, and in a way need, as you may be feeling it, to be, I'm hearing, recognized with emotional independence, okay? And I'm hearing dependence, emotional independence and dependence. So there's this, I'm hearing this, this collaborative sort of energy that where it's like you feel that you need to work with others in a certain dimension, in a certain propensity, but there's not just working. It's like, it's an emotional thing as well, Cancer. And I almost said Pisces, and you have here the Hanged Man that sits right beneath the Nine of Pentacles, okay? I'm hearing wishing and hoping and dreaming and okay, so it's overpinning the Empress in reverse, overlaying the Emperor upright. A pair here. Okay. Speaking of the establishment of a domain, of the lands that we feel will find the home of our resources, that will provide the character, I'm hearing, and the boundaries for the expression of ourselves. How are we to exist in the third dimension as an emotional being in such a way where the way that we are contributing to what we're creating is emotionally satisfying, is emotionally cognizant of our emotional differences of what we can contribute emotionally, I'm hearing varying propensities, and at the same time, right, as the output of what we put in gives us back in a certain way that similarly recognizes that we all need different things emotionally. So it's like this in and out, this give and this take, this reciprocity sort of, this question of reciprocity but not just a question, but an idealization, okay, and then a focus on it. Okay, and there's the recognition that something is to be done about, I'm hearing, these resources, these assets, perhaps it's a network of individuals. There's a direction, okay, that must be, I'm hearing begun, to begin with direction, as it pertains to what is otherwise I'm hearing invariance, okay, varying propensities. So it's like you may be working with a lot of individuals who have emotional needs in certain ways, on different levels, in different dimensions, and they all need to kind of synthesize and harmonize in a certain way. And I'm getting frequency for you. So varying levels of some kind of frequency. You realize I've got to come down to it, especially conceptually, how it is that it's all to materialize in the way that suits us all as individuals. So you have here the Tower right beneath the Two of Wands. You understand that whatever this direction is, whatever the singularity is going to mean changing the product of what you all contribute to, okay? Or you and this other individual, or the two halves of your being, okay, as well, for a number of you. And so that is a shake-up, Cancer. That is a shake-up. Okay, that's a shake-up. You get that. You understand that the paradigm is shifting of how we are involved emotionally in our world. And if we are to attain a certain level of emotional satisfaction, it's almost like we've got to transform how, in what propensity we give of ourselves to the third dimension. And what that thing that we are contributing to changes through time and space. And I'm hearing accordingly. So there are many different factors. And I'm getting that there's, and Pisces got somewhat of a similar energy, okay, in terms of there being, right, this sort of a paradigm shift, okay, this jump in I'm hearing variables, specifically variables. So it's almost like, right, we're working with a certain criteria from years past until now, and we realize, well, that doesn't fit the framework. There is no framework for what it is that I realize is going to be the foundation, I'm hearing, of understanding. So the understanding of where it is we are all going, okay, is under review, and it's a matter of understanding where are we all going. And whatever changes in variance, yet again, whatever variables change, right? It's like this, Cancer. It's like, I'm imagining that there's this company, okay, and so many players in it, so many individuals in it who are involved in a certain capacity with the grander motives of the company, okay? And it's like they're all trying to get somewhere. They all are in their own departments, and they all have their own expertise. But at the end of the day, they're all working in a certain way as one. I'm hearing in the same fashion. Now, I'm hearing there needs to be a directive goal, a directive aim, a line of vision, a line of sight. I'm hearing honoring emotional principles and values. But what I'm getting, I almost said Aries, and you have Aries as card in the major arcana, the Emperor and the Empress, and Pisces at the same time, you have the Hanged Man, okay? But Cancer, it's like this. You realize, okay, that as the recognition of the collective goal changes, so too does the method to getting there, to reaching it. And so it's almost like, all the individuals in this company, I'm hearing they were taught to make progress in a certain way, to reach the goal by way of contributing to, I'm hearing the family system. I'm hearing the family system for a number of you in a certain way. I'm hearing markers of success. Okay, so there may have been, right, certain measures by which all individuals in the company learn to perceive matters of progress. Okay, I'm hearing knowledge in seeking growth. But it's almost like, and I'm getting, it's almost like there's like this announcement. Okay, and so in this announcement, it's like, hello everyone. Okay, then it could be like I'm hearing the writing, presiding force, like these sort of like, I'm hearing captain. Okay, I'm hearing captain obvious, so take it as you will. It's almost like a certain announcement is made that is like, okay, everyone, like we're all making a big shift in how the company is going to be structured and how the company is going to move towards the goal that it has always held. So it's like this massive shift in I'm hearing in order. Okay, in order. And I'm hearing Pisces again for you. Okay, so Cancer, it's like you've been awaiting this. Okay, you've been awaiting this. And there is this externalized dimension to whatever this change is, but at the same time, there's a very personal one. And it has to do with your very personal participation in it. I'm hearing cogs in the machine. There are so many variables, so many parts and pieces to it. I'm hearing the network of principles. But what is your emotional role that you play for yourself in a certain way relevant? Right now, in this very moment, no matter what is going on here, no matter what is happening, no matter what your restructuring of forces is, in a certain way. And there may be a Leo individual involved, someone who has a lot of Leo, could be, or simply I'm getting captain, I'm hearing yet again captain of the ship. It could be like a CEO type of lead role in a certain company, but leadership, okay? And, or for a number of you, family, network, and or a relation, a partnership, okay, that has to do with perhaps a Leo, someone with a lot of Leo in their chart, and or a Capricorn, okay, lots of Capricorn in their chart, or Earth sign, Taurus or Virgo. Nonetheless, I keep hearing Pisces as well, so that energy is coming through strongly for you, Cancer. I'm hearing there's a reformation of boundaries, and there's a reformation of the outset of how, from the perception of how we were making progress and moving forward. It's almost like a shock. It's like everyone in the company is like, wait, what? Well, what? And I'm imagining it's like this. I'm imagining this huge, almost this convention, this ballroom of individuals, and the feeling I'm getting is almost like elves. Okay, it's like Santa's elves, so to speak, and there they are, busy working away. And there's a certain rhythm, okay, and means of stamina that is upheld in that environment. Okay, they all kind of know the way that they work and what they're doing. If they're satisfied in a certain way is a question. Okay, I'm getting that. Now I'm getting that as well. If this is you, you resonate with this being I'm hearing a domain, a company that you work with, or perhaps that you work in tandem with in a certain way. It's almost as if you have your network within that grander network. And so I'm getting it's a body of knowledge as well. So it's almost like your resources, okay? Nonetheless, if that is true, Cancer, it's a matter of, right, the sense of emotional satisfaction that you and your team hold in a certain way, okay? So for a number of you, but take it as you will, Cancer. Nonetheless, it's almost as if, right, once this announcement is made, I like all these people looking up, and they're looking at the individual who's making the announcement, and there's just this look of, in a way, this bewilderment. Okay, what? How are we going to do it now? Right? So it's like this total shift. Okay, that's kind of a shift. But it almost leaves the room to confront and come face to face with what was not emotionally satisfying in that older way of doing things. Okay, so I'm getting that it's bittersweet in a certain way. It's good, but it's also it's illuminating. Okay, it could be testing and it could be challenging your perception of stability, and I'm hearing of time. But it's fundamentally illuminating and is playing the role of clarifying and bringing into sharp focus what is emotionally satisfying to you. Now, there's a question of am I going to persist? Am I going prolongment of my assets, my resources? I'm hearing, am I going to pull in or am I going to pull out? It's like, there's a question of how far to go. Okay, I'm hearing how far to go. And so you're contemplating your resources and how much it is that you want to, again, invest in this, and when you're going to bring yourself to the state of being totally ready, I'm hearing satisfied with the result. Okay, Ten of Pentacles overlaying the World in reverse. Okay, and Pisces got this string of cards with the Ten of Pentacles, but they got the Pen of Pentacles in reverse, the World, they got the World upright, so it's reflected, okay, with Pisces. So Pisces got the World upright, and Pisces got the Fool, but upright. So you've got it in reverse. There's somewhat of an inverted relationship with the Pisces energy, I'll say that, but there's a question of meeting up, okay, meeting head to head. Where does it all lead us? Okay, that's the question. Where does it all lead us? But I'm hearing to higher grounds, where we gain this sense of perception of, I'm hearing the whole network, okay, all bodies of knowledge in a certain way, rather than being, a certain way. I'm hearing compartmentalized truths, where we're all cogs moving the machinery. Where do we come to the point where it's conclusive? It's this holistic point of understanding of where and how and why we're all moving together. So there's an esoteric sort of questioning process, okay, that you may be feeling. You have the Five of Swords upright. That's smack dab in the middle between the Mother of Wands in reverse. Pisces got the Five of Swords and the Mother of Wands, and there was an interaction between these two that was somewhat interesting. Okay, the Five of Swords being somewhat of like a dagger towards this Mother of Wands. Mother of Wands was paying no mind, though, in Pisces' reading. Nonetheless, there is creative potential, okay, here that is the focus, and you recognize that it is your asset, and you recognize that it is a matter of how you communicate that. And I'm hearing efficacy, the how well you communicate and relay your creative potential is what sets the boundaries. I'm hearing out of bounds. So that is what takes you outside of the realm that you have so far known to create within. Is the moment that you come to terms with, very clearly with others, and getting specifically with others, your potential and the role that you play. Okay, I'm hearing in your playing field. Okay, so focusing in on what emotionally satisfies you yet again, Cancer, all right. Daughter of Pentacles overlaying the High Priestess upright. There is a question of a spiritual path and journey, one that regards perhaps intuitive faculties, absolutely, and how to, I'm hearing, stabilize that. And or it may be pertaining to a Taurus individual, okay, that's coming through for you, but also someone with a lot of Taurus in their chart, or Capricorn. I'm also hearing Pisces again for you, and the High Priestess I tend to associate with the Pisces archetype. So I will say also as well perhaps Virgo or Capricorn. Right, given that the Daughter of Pentacles is Earth energy, take it as you will. So sticky. There is this reference, Cancer. I'm hearing Pisces again, to the dimension of emotional receptivity, how it is that we form our partnerships, how it is that we are all satisfied in what it is we're contributing to, and what are we contributing to? That is your question. Where does it all, I'm hearing, terminate? Where does it germinate and where does it terminate? There's a prolongment of the process that is your focus now. And the question comes, what will emotionally satisfy me? You have 3 fives that you pulled out with, the 5 of swords previously. You now have the 5 of wands in reverse in your, I'm getting environment, okay? I'm getting specifically in your environment. So creative assets, creative resources, you may be thinking about how to move through whatever this realization is of this participation in a certain relationship, partnership, network, body of people is. You have as well the 5 of Pentacles, right? So this emotional story connected to this, the way, I'm hearing transient, the way that you communicate about and through this physical dimension, the professional front, the career, right? Engagement that we hold, and how it is we move through it in a creative, dynamic way. We're ready to redefine what is our paradigm of success, of stability, specifically as it pertains to and is a reflection of our emotional sense of satisfaction. Okay, so you may be contemplating, this Mother of Cups has come up for so many signs now. There's so much intuitive energy coming through for everyone now. So far, the signs that I've done, Cancer, but you may be heeding, okay, and this came through for Virgo as well, you may be heeding, and Taurus as well. I'm hearing professional, intuitive advice. I'm hearing that who, and right, an individual who understands your situation uniquely, right, which just really gets you, really gets you, and is able to offer, I'm hearing their consultation from a perspective that is very unique, okay, and that takes into consideration not only the potentials, I'm hearing the activations, the possibilities, the alternatives of taking action, but understands them, acknowledges them, and their intuitive meaning, their energetic reaction to the variables that are set. So I'm getting that there's a contemplation of resources. How am I to capacitate? Okay, how am I to work through and redefine this parameter of how I give and I take in my emotional experiences, okay, in my environment. And this could be, if this is not another individual, this could be absolutely your very own energy, Cancer. And if it is, there's this sighting, I'm hearing this meditation on what these many actions can eventually lead to. Because you're weighing things out, but from I'm hearing an esoteric standpoint, and as well an intuitive one. Okay. You have the 10 of Swords in reverse, mirroring the 3 of Wands in reverse. So this 5 of Wands in reverse, 5 half of 10. Okay. There are so many options, Cancer. And if you are to simply view them as options, right? If you are to simply view them as, well, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that, and then that could lead to this, and that could lead to that, and that could mean that, and that could technically create that. If you are to take that route, you understand that it leads you down a rabbit hole of unending questions and contemplation of the resources. But the moment that you begin to filter those alternatives and the perception of them through the lens that is not of the mind, but the mind's eye, using your imagination, that is when I'm getting you shift in this paradigm, and I'm hearing in this parallel. Okay, so it's a matter of perception, but not literally how you perceive it from where, what angle. It's a matter of what it is you're perceiving is your objective. And when you recognize that it is energetic for you, that what you're striving towards is a sort of state of energetic elemental harmony and balance. Okay, I'm getting that strongly for a number of you. Begins the moment where you begin to view your path towards it as energetic. And so your question is, well, what is going to harmonize? I'm no longer just looking at these options, as just, well, I could do this and I could do that. But energetically, what are these options I'm hearing surface as? How do they contribute to this dream I hold? How does it capacitate my vision for the future that I know is mine, that I know takes me closer to coming to a state of emotional bliss, satisfaction, and balance of all. Balance. So there is this referencing to career, matters of stability, of finances. There is a financial side to the story that cannot be forgotten and cannot be sacrificed, okay? And you realize, yes, there's an emotional sort of outskirt, okay, to this situation, but at the core of it, at the foundation of it, it is, I'm hearing, rooted perhaps in a certain way, as you may see it, as you may feel it, as you may have participated in it, in matters that are concerning the third dimension: professional, career, financial endeavors, okay? So it's like, well, I may be involved, okay, in a certain, I'm hearing network of people that has, in a certain way, capacitated a certain amount of progress and change and perhaps success in a certain way where I felt, hey, I'm contributing to something tangible, working, okay? I'm hearing work in progress. But where did it leave me hanging? As much progress as I've technically made, whatever I have accumulated, whatever I've contributed to, and specifically I'm hearing resources, in what ways has it left me wondering, yearning for more of the discovery of me? In what way have I made progress just at the perimeter, just at the outskirts of who I am? And so am I making the progress deeper and deeper into myself? Am I making the progress to a place that brings me greater sense of satisfaction? Not by way of what I create, but by way of what it illuminates about me. In me, for me, in a very personal way, Cancer, in a very personal way. And if not, why? And I'm getting that you're realizing it's time to awaken. I'm hearing the flame of your desire, the flame of your, I'm hearing spark, of what compels you to keep waiting and keep hanging. The recognition is that we understand there's more. We understand there's more to us. But how does our role in capacitating, bringing to fruition that expansion of who we are play a fundamental role in seeing it through? We realize that, I'm getting that you realize, Cancer, I've got to come to terms with what I've known to be energetically true for me. Even if I'm technically making a certain level of progress in a certain world, according to certain, I'm hearing, financial principles, what are my values? I've got to awaken to them, okay? And so progress, and the question of progress and the question of stability and where it all goes from here is your question at this point, Cancer. And there's no questioning that. There's no questioning that. Let us do a Celtic cross to see what comes through for you, Cancer, in this mid part. And I keep saying mid part. So something about time, okay, that could be something, yet again, that's carrying over, that's being drawn out from your very own card, the Chariot upright. that is perhaps being drawn out for a long period of time. You're coming to your character, though, Cancer. You're coming down to who you are as the mover, as the one who creates and defines progress. Not only the one who moves through progress, okay? That defines what progress is. That defines what a certain amount of success, a certain recognition, I'm hearing, of faith, of success is. I'm hearing, what are our values, our principles? Who am I? You pulled the Magician. The card, speaking of manifestation. Okay. Okay, pull the Eight of Pentacles. Overlaying the Nine of Cups upright. Overlaying the Six of Swords upright. 8, 9, you have a sequence. I believe it was either Taurus or Virgo who pulled the Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups. Definitely, there was a sequence of energy. 8, 9, 4. I believe it was Virgo. Okay. Nonetheless, let me read all the cards off to you. This is happening in your theme. The Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Six of Swords. You have the Ten of Cups in reverse in your deep past. Accompanied by the Father of Wands in reverse in your deep past. Okay, these two cards wanted to come out together, so take it as you will. The Devil in reverse. This is Capricorn's card, and Capricorn wanted to speak through for you, right? As we mentioned at the very beginning of the reading, you have the Daughter of Swords upright in your energetic pathway that leads you into your current state of the Four of Wands upright. You have in your advice the Magician in reverse, who's looking back at, very interestingly, at the Four of Wands through to the Devil, who's looking back at the Father of Wands, who's looking at the Ten of Cups. So there's this almost retrograde motions, doubling over sort of motion that draws us back into the past, okay? I'm hearing a backwards wave of motion. So it's almost like the wave in reverse kind of feeling, almost like the receding of a tide, but in terms of retrograde, okay? So, and I'm getting reflections of the past. You have the Three of Cups in reverse in your near future, the Father of Cups in reverse in your hopes and or fears, the Seven of Swords in reverse. In your final outcome, you have the Two of Swords in reverse in your environment. You have the Sun of Wands upright and the Star upright, beautiful, in your energetic pathway that leads you into this final outcome of the Seven of Swords in reverse. You're coming out with it, Cancer. And I almost said Capricorn. You're coming out with it. It may have to do with matters of career, absolutely, okay, or a Capricorn individual. You're coming out with whatever it is that has been held back in a certain way, okay, and hopefully not. Always, hopefully not. But there's this, I'm ready, okay, like a horse riding off into the sunset, right, bucking wildly as it's released from the stable. I've got to pursue what's mine. I'm hearing, I'm golden. So it's this sense of recognition of the self, of yourself, of your dream, and how you are to, how you want to pursue it, how you want to reach this. I'm hearing this emblem of success. But you're redefining it again. I'm hearing your variables, your means. Now let me get a sip of water real quickly. Okay. I'm hearing without a shadow of a doubt, you are coming to terms with your very personal sense of conviction, your very personal truth. And you're retracting, okay, very clear, I'm getting you retracting from groups of people, systems, bodies of thought, of emotional reciprocity that do not speak to this knowing that you have, that do not resonate with you on a very deep level, that do not bring you closer to finding, pursuing this truth. I'm getting, independence. And so you're coming down to it, but it's by way first of releasing your paradigm of what emotional satisfaction means to you. And again, how it is that you want to reach that point, that emblem, I'm hearing, of emotional satisfaction. And first and foremost, it's this coming out, I'm getting as well to others, but it's this sheer pursuit, okay, of this truth that you inherently know to be your own. I'm hearing no matter what it means for others, no matter what it may mean for other people, okay? Now you have the Father of Cups in reverse. In your hopes and or fears, there may be an individual who is riding in tandem, is associated with perhaps a social group of some kind, this network of individuals, this propensity, okay, this way of channeling this water energy, this propensity to feel, okay. There may be an individual who is involved, that could be your very own energy. There's a redefining of the ways in which we, again, the give and the take. Specific emphasis on reciprocity. If this is another individual, there may be this question, okay, well, when it all surfaces, how will they fare? Okay, how will they fare? I'm hearing with my resistance. So, it's almost like this Cancer, the feeling I'm getting is like, let's say that you've been involved with a certain group of people, right? A certain community, and a day in and day out, you have contributed to that community, you've shown up, and let's say you all gather around and you talk about certain things in a certain way. You realize, comes one day, I'm not made for this. I'm hearing, I'm not made for this. Okay, for this party of two, I'm hearing this party of two. I'm not made for this, and I'm hearing three's company as well. And what comes, okay, of it, of my acknowledgement of my relationship to it as an independent individual, maybe I'm going to accept it, right? But at the same time, there is a question of the parties involved. There's well, what happens, right, to, what happens with, how does it sort of affect those individuals who were involved? What are they going to, in a way, think of me, right? It's like, well, perhaps in a certain way, like, well, what are they going to do when I tell them I'm not showing up any longer I'm hearing, to the courses, to the classes? Well, what is the impact that it's going to have? So, Cancer, and I'm hearing Pisces for you. So there may be, right, a Pisces individual involved. But that, at the same time, is not your concern. I'm getting that it's a peripheral sort of, question. Okay, question. But it's not that you're not going to retract from, I'm hearing, your bid because of this question. But you understand that it's a factor. It's a factor that comes to mind, okay? But you got to do what you got to do. I'm hearing that as well. And you do that. You do that, and you discern that, and you clearly accept how you are different to others in a certain way, how you think differently to others in a certain way, and how that should be the propeller of your cause. Your difference, okay? And I'm getting that others may view it as indifference, but it is what marks you. I'm hearing marks your territory, your principles of thought and action, and that is exciting to you. Standing for that principle is exciting for you. And it causes you to just completely release the inhibitions, specifically that are constructed by way of the intellectual rational mind, to release it and to remain, to reside in our very personal sense of conviction of knowing where we're going as an independent individual. It's like I don't need to tag everyone along, okay, to feel like I'm going somewhere. I could go alone and feel completely purposeful in that. Feel that I'm achieving something substantial because I feel aligned in that moment. Okay. I'm hearing, and I'm taking with me what matters, okay? Now, you have this emotional story that has built up over time. I'm getting it, that did not quite have the closure that you would have liked, that would have been needed, okay? From the deep past, we're seeing perhaps for a number of you, Father of Wands associated with this could be an individual who has a lot of fire in their chart, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, but it could also be your own propensity that speaks to the role that you want to take on creatively, that speaks to the dream that you hold very deeply. And the way that you perhaps have or have not contributed to the capacitation of this dream in a very deep way has been sort of reached a boiling point, okay? Like, I'm not satisfied with this. Four of Cups. I'm not satisfied with this. But I haven't quite come out with that yet. Perhaps we're now coming out with it. We're now clarifying it, in the very least, to ourselves. Daughter of Swords. Upright, right beneath, right above rather, this Four of Wands, but I said beneath, there is this interception, okay, this reciprocal relationship with these two energies, the thoughts and the actions, the creative thinking that is creative, that doesn't define what we see, but gives it a sort of framework, okay? So it's like saying, well, go think creatively. Right? You're still thinking, but you're thinking creatively. So it's a matter of how you are channeling this energy that is the focus. The focus is on the opening of the mind, right? I'm not getting like releasing the mind, but opening it in such a way where you are yet again thinking, you're discerning, you're rationalizing, but your guiding force and I'm hearing variable is your cause. Your cause. What is the momentum of life force that moves you through this vision? How do I want to see myself? Not how I should, not how I have, not how others would see me in this situation, but how do I see myself in the future? So it's a test, I'm hearing it's a test of your self-reliance. It's a test of how you perceive matters of, I'm hearing codependence for a number of you, independence, how you perceive matters of creation, of your world as you being the creator of it, Cancer. I'm hearing Pisces for you, yet again coming strongly through. There's this emphasis on not yet taking the action, especially in the beginning part of October, let's say, even perhaps tail end of September into, let's say, 3rd, 4th, to the 6th of October. The focus is not on taking the action, right, almost like in a compulsive way, okay, right at the outset of it. And I'm hearing outskirt. Taking the action internally first, in terms of the perception, the vision that we hold of this next chapter, this next beginning, that we understand we're moving into. Okay, reaching the point of utmost clarity with that, so that the actions that we take are completely in line with, in tandem with this vision. And I'm getting you're going to get there by the mid part of October, okay, a few days prior, and into the later part of October, but I would say 13th until 15th, about 14th, okay. Nonetheless, Cancer, you have this focus on the past, but it's almost like the feeling I'm getting is this wave that's moving backwards, but it's almost as it's moving backwards, it's washing over the rocks that lie in the sand on the coast. There's this, it's not just the water moving backwards, it's moving backwards and illuminating certain variables and principles that are focused, that will be revisited, okay? I'm getting when the action is to be taken at a future time. You have the Magician, right, looking back at the Four of Wands. And it's almost like this, right? Cancer. It's like the Magician is not going to just get on stage and just start doing whatever, right? The magician has to have a plan, has to know, but not just in an intellectual way, almost also in a way of emotional intelligence, in a way of even psychology, right? Understanding the audience, understanding the nature of the interaction, feeling if the impact of its work, okay, in a way that is, I'm hearing singular, I'm hearing esoteric, okay? So where what the magician is creating holds value in varying dimensions. So you're being beckoned, Cancer, to take your time with the preparation course, the course of preparation of building this vision, honing in and harnessing in on what, right? And the feeling I'm getting is like this actor or actress who is preparing for this lead role. It's like they can't just like go up on stage and begin to act and whatever else. I see them like with the script, but not only with the script, not only reading the lines, but I see them almost watching the movie on a screen before they act on it. Act in it, okay, and I said act on it, so right, take it as you will. Before they enact it, before they create it officially, before they participate in it, they're watching it. So there's this focus on absorbing the influence, the energy of what you are creating. And that is your guiding force. Now, there's a question of financial assets, okay, and I'm getting that. Perhaps in the past, there's a question of the stability. I'm hearing the barometer of stability, and whatever sort of was a foundation and what we thought we were moving along as a path is, I'm hearing reckless, okay, I'm hearing haphazard, something about the moving pieces. The pieces are now moving. We're like, well, that was a straight line. It was a straight line, but now they split it up into two, right, rows, and where do they go? Which one do I choose? It's confusing a little bit. So it's this stretching of resources, of perhaps finances for a number of you. There's this diverging, revolving door, okay, of like, where am I going with this a little bit, perhaps as it pertains to career, finances, material assets. But you are still focusing on that, and you're moving with it, I'm seeing. You're moving with it, but in tandem, your focus is where I am moving as an individual, I'm hearing on the outset. Once this chapter is closed out, on the outset, what am I moving into? But there's a working tirelessly, okay, towards the capacitation of the dream. Oh my goodness. And at the same time, kind of working with what has fallen out of place, okay? And so you're stringing together a lot, Cancer, it seems, in many ways, and I'm hearing Capricorn again for you. So, but you're riding in tandem almost simultaneously with the vision that you hold, the recognition of emotional, I'm hearing intelligence, emotional relevance, so water energy, and at the same time, its presence, its value in the third dimension, in how that energy exists and takes form, okay? And so you have this dichotomy showing up as well, right in the beginning with your Five of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. So water and earth working very closely with you, but I'm getting that the way that you perceive this relationship between intuition and practicality begins to be channeled in a way that is solely targeted to your manifestation, your potential as an individual to capacitate your character, I'm hearing, of truth. So, but your perception through this process is fundamental, and the ways in which you perceive of what comes after is I'm hearing paramount importance, okay? So thank you so very much, Cancer, for tuning in. I hope that this reading was helpful for you in some kind of way, and I highly recommend you to check out your rising, ascendant, or moon sign, as well, as oftentimes those may provide you with further insights into your situation. For example, I know that I resonate a lot with my moon sign, even more than my sun sometimes. Depends. I also resonate here and there with my rising, ascendant sign, okay? But nonetheless, if you are compelled to watch a certain sign, I recommend, right, that you do. There may be messages there for you, okay? Nonetheless, if you don't know your signs, you can click the link below in the description box that I provide, and that will compute them for you. Just make sure that your time is correct, even down to the very minute, to get an accurate rising, ascendant reading sign. But you may be able to get away with the calculation of your moon, perhaps So play around with it, okay? Nonetheless, thank you so very much again for tuning in, Cancer. Have a beautiful tail end of September, beginning of October, and I'll see you for the mid-October readings. More on that in the description box below and in this next video. Thanks so much. Bye. Hi there, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning into your video. Again, this is a general announcement, and it pertains to the monthly readings and mid-monthly readings. A reminder, so for this month, I'll be doing it a little differently. Usually, right, I have two part readings for the month. I have from the 1st to the 15th and the 15th to the 30th. So the early portion, first half of the month readings, and that which pertains to the latter half of the month readings. Okay, so for this month, I want to be able to give the bulk of my time to the general readings. Okay, and so to do that, I'm going to need to reduce the amount of energy and time that I put into the private readings that I do and the private services and so on and so forth. So to do that, I've decided to make accessible the mid-monthly readings by way of subscription. Okay, and so you'll be able to access that via my website, alchemyandyou.com. Once this video goes live, it's available on the website. So you can click the link in the description box below, or simply go to alchemyandyou.com, and there should be a banner there at the very top. You can click that and subscribe for your spot to receive the mid-monthly reading. Okay, and I'll be delivering that to everyone on October 11th. So feel free to check it out if you'd like more details. The link in the description box below. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Loving the light to you all on this exciting journey forward, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.